How's it going, guys? Mr. Middleton here. We are going to talk about adding and subtracting polynomials today. Okay? By the end of this lesson, you should be able to add and subtract polynomials correctly, accurately. Okay? Alright, so really there's not a whole lot of mathy things to talk about today. We've just talked about classifying polynomials, and we can talk about that just a little bit as we go through, just to get used to the lingo some more. But today we're really just adding and subtracting, something that you really know how to do. We'll kind of revisit what like terms are. We know what they are, but we'll kind of make sure we get on the right page from the beginning of this chapter, and then we'll do a few examples with adding and subtracting. So let's jump into it now. Okay, so to add, subtract, or to add polynomials, you can add polynomials by just adding like terms. Okay, now before when we talked about like terms, we were saying that they're terms with the same variable, or terms that didn't have a variable. To make sure that I refine that a little bit, when we're adding like terms, they have the same variable to the same exponent. Okay, same variable to the same power. Okay, and so as we look at this first problem, we have 4x squared plus 6x plus 7 plus 2x squared minus 9x plus 1. So we're adding two quadratic trinomials together, and we're going to simplify that sum. Alright, remember that our final answer should be in standard form, and so it's a good practice to make sure that before you start adding that your polynomials are already in standard form, just so they're already organized how we want to finish it. In this case, they are in standard form, highest degree to lowest degree, highest degree to lowest degree. Okay, and there are two ways that we can add these. Different people like different methods, but one way that we can add them is just using the vertical, or adding them vertically. Okay, and all that means is we take our original polynomials and we stack like terms. Okay, and add them. So we'll have all of our like terms right next to each other, or on top of each other. We add these two together, and then we get our final answer. We have 4x squared plus 2x squared. So I have 4x squares, and I'm adding that to 2x squared. How many x squareds do I have? I have 6. 6x squared. I have 6x plus negative 9x. Or I can just think of it as 6x minus 9x, which gives me minus 3x, negative 3x's. 7 plus 1 is positive 8. Okay, and so as I add this together, this polynomial is 6x squared minus 3x plus 8. Alright, we can also add horizontally. Okay, and the benefit of knowing how to do both of these, or at least practicing both of them just a little bit, is that sometimes you'll get problems that are set up vertically, sometimes you'll get problems that are set up horizontally, or times where you have to solve it horizontally. So being able to do both will help you out a little bit. You should get the same answer either way that you do it. When I add horizontally, I usually try to do something to mark like terms together. Okay, so like I'll look at, I got x squared here, I got x squared here, I'll underline it once. I've got x here and x here, I'll underline it twice. I've got 7 here and 1 here, I'll circle it. Doing something that marks to myself that I've checked where my like terms are, and then I combine them. Again, 4x squared plus 2x squared, 6x squared, 6x plus negative 9x, or minus 9x is negative 3x, positive 7 plus 1, positive 8. Okay, so either way, I'm getting the same answer, quadratic trinomial. Okay. Alright, here are a couple examples. You can pause the video. Feel free to, if you want to do vertically, to reset these problems and then see what the answers should come out to be. oops, 16w cubed. That. Just erase that here. I have no space. 16w cubed plus 8w squared plus 4. Okay. Notice on this problem we have, underline that, I'll circle that. There's nothing over here with w squared. There's nothing to circle. Okay. So as I put these together, 4 and 8w squared don't have like terms. We can't add them together or simplify that necessarily, but they can come into this polynomial the same way. Okay, so I added two binomials together and I ended up with a trinomial. Alright, so in the end, make sure that I have all my like terms together. Big takeaway from this is realize that our variables don't change. It was w cubed plus w cubed stayed w cubed. Okay, I like to think of it as like apples or oranges or an object. There's 9 somethings plus 7 somethings gives you 16 of those same things. Okay, don't change those values or those variables. All right, so that's addition. In addition, like I've said all year, addition's the same as subtraction. Subtraction's the same as addition. Multiplication and division are basically the same thing. So when we're talking about subtracting polynomials, you should see that the rules don't change a whole lot. Okay. One way that's helpful thinking of subtracting polynomials, though, is to think of it as adding a negative. Okay. So sometimes you can think of it as adding a negative and help yourself out just a little bit. So I straighten this out so we can see more of this page at the same time. Let me see. Is that working? Getting less straight or more straight? Okay. We'll leave it there. All right. So you can subtract polynomials by, and I'll just say, distributing the negative and then adding like terms. Okay, distributing the negative and then adding like terms. So here we go. We have 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 3x minus x cubed minus 8x squared plus 11. Okay. Now the thing that gets overlooked so much here is people will tend to make this first term negative and then do nothing to the rest of the terms. Okay. But remember that there's this invisible one here, this understood one that we don't write because everybody should know it's there, that we have to distribute to every term inside here. So it'd be negative x cubed plus 8x squared minus 11. Okay. And we'll use that as we go through these two problems. Again, you can do these vertically or horizontally. Okay. Now again, our original, try to do this out here. There we go. Just want you to focus on this side right now. Our original problem, we had minus x cubed minus 8x squared plus 11. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just distribute that negative here. I'm going to change all the signs. This is now going to become negative x cubed. This will become positive 8x squared. This will become negative 11. Okay. Notice here that the 3x, or the negative 3x, doesn't have a partner in the second polynomial. And the 11, the negative 11, doesn't have a partner in the first polynomial. When we stack them, or we do it vertically, we just leave those spaces blank. I know some people will want to even put 0x here or plus 0 here, just so that they have a good space and they don't feel like they forgot anything. Okay, so that's one way that you can make sure that you keep your like terms together. Now as we do that, we have 2x cubed minus x cubed. Again, and especially for problems like this, people will want to cancel these x cubes out. They do not cancel out. Okay, I have 2 of something and I'm taking away 1 of that thing. That means I have 1 left. I have x cubed, 5x squared plus 8x squared will give me 13x squared. Negative 3x plus 0x is negative 3x. 0 minus 11 is negative 11, or minus 11. Okay. So just recapping that, we distributed the negative here, changed all of our signs, and then added them. Okay. Distribute the negative, then add. Okay. And we'll do the same thing in the horizontal method. Okay, again, with this method, sometimes I like to underline my like terms. I can do that now. X squared, negative 8x squared. Make sure you keep the negative sign with the term. Okay, don't lose it as you're circling them. Sometimes people circle them and leave out that negative sign and mess up their answer. Make sure you remember that that goes with the number. It's the same part. Negative 3. Okay, so I have nothing there. Okay. Alright. Alright, so now I have that there. Now, I'm going to take this out of the parentheses, and I'm going to do that by distributing my negative sign here. So I have negative x cubed plus 8x squared minus 11. 2x cubed plus 5x squared minus 3x. Notice I don't have to do that here because there's a positive in front, so I don't have to change the signs. Okay, so 2x cubed and negative x cubed, that gives me x cubed. 5x squared plus 8x squared gives me 13x squared. Negative 3x, and nothing over here that goes with it, negative 3x. Negative 11 hasn't been taken care of, minus 11. Okay, and that's our final answer. Okay, now I haven't made a big deal of it because it's kind of natural to me, maybe. But make sure that your answer is in standard form. Goes from the highest exponent down to the lowest exponent. Okay, and it should be that way every time. So, not just something that I like, it's how you write it. It's called standard form. Okay? Alright, a couple more examples here we can look at. We've got, try to set this up one more time. That'll be better. Okay. 30x cubed minus 29x squared minus 3x minus 2x cubed plus 8x squared. Okay, so I'm going to take this out of the parentheses for this first problem. I have minus 2x cubed minus x squared. Take this out of the parentheses as well. Minus 29x squared minus 3x. Okay, then I'll put my like terms together. So I have 30x cubed minus 28x cubed, or sorry, minus 2x cubed gives me 28x cubed. There's a lot of numbers here, so I'm going to just cross that off so I know that it's gone. Negative 29x squared minus x squared should be negative 30x squared. Cross those off so I know I did them. Negative 3x. Okay, so that should be my answer for C, my cubic trinomial. And then one more here. Again, I'm going to take this out of its parentheses, negative 6b squared, by distributing this negative sign. Minus 8, that's the first thing I usually worry about with these subtraction problems, because that is where the main mistakes happen. It's where most of the mistakes happen. Okay, so I have 4b squared and minus 6b squared gives me negative 2v squared. 5b minus v gives me plus 4v. Positive 1 minus 8 is negative 7. Quadratic trinomial. Alright, so the goal of these notes were for you to be able to add and subtract polynomials. You should see that you should add like terms or line like terms up, add them, simplify them. Do not change the variable when you're adding. Okay, if I add 2 apples to 2 apples, they still are apples. Okay, I'd have 4 apples. It wouldn't change to another fruit. Okay, so when I add x squared to an x squared, it's still an x squared. Same with subtraction. Okay, and then with subtraction, make sure that you distribute the negative to each term in that polynomial. Okay, don't just change the first sign. Those are the things that really catch you up, and if you get on a good start on this chapter, it'll make it a lot easier for you. All right, we'll do more tomorrow.